YouTube, what is good? So today we're using a different bit of a mic setup because we are going through your street photography. I asked you all on Twitter to send me your street photos and I was going to critique them. This is most likely going to be a 2 to 3 part series because I'm blown away with how many people sent me photos. I can't believe it. There were like 300 submissions on Twitter. So we're going to get through as many as we can today. Let's get to it. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoy the video. Subscribe if you're not yet. First up, we have Eli Beaverson Visuals. Hopefully I said your name right. I'm really bad with names. Right here we got 4 photos. This first one is of someone inside the train track, like the lines here. That trash bag, I might have tried to work around, but I understand that it is what it is. But I do like kind of the symmetry going through here, and I like the orange with the blue. This is a nice use of color right here, the blue lines on the train. And then this next shot ties in well with the last one. I think the last one maybe had a stronger composition, but this one does tie it in well if you're trying to tell some type of story with this set of photos. This next one right here, I like it. I like the colors, like the exposure. One thing I might do different is try to hide this light pole a little bit. You see, when it's splitting these people down the middle, it kind of creates some confusion composition-wise. So I might have maybe took a step to the left or a step to the right or tried to figure out a way to reframe it. Trust me, I understand how it goes when you're actually out shooting. It's really difficult to do that, but that's one thing I might have done differently on this one. But the exposure is really clean, especially for a night image like this one. This last one right here, this is really, really cool. Pretty much just like a straight up banger photo. We got someone walking through this scene, well lit. You got all the symmetry going on in the front with the plant things. You get the symmetry up top, obviously with the lights. You have a subject in here. You have multiple layers. This one is really solid and it's kind of like my style of street photography, what I would typically do. So all in all, this set is really good. I would say the photo of the guys walking is the one that probably would need the most amount of work if I was going to pinpoint a weak spot in this. But all in all, this is a really solid set. Now we have Elvis Martinez. Let's see. I don't know if these photos right here were intended on being paired up together as a set. So we'll just go through them as if they're individuals because they don't really seem like they're meant to work together. This one's pretty cool. We got some solid light here. We have like the only colorful person in the photo being this person in the safety stuff down here. Probably would have liked a little bit more going on inside of this scene. All in all, the real only thing that's happening is the light and this person. Might have been good to have one other element of interest. I'm not sure what that could have been. Maybe if this was at night and everything was lit up, it would have added that kind of extra piece of this to take it over the top. This next one right here is pretty cool. If you were doing a set of images down in a subway station or something like that. Aside from that, though, not really sure what this photo is saying other than just somebody on their phone chilling. Composition's kind of cool with the lead lines from the train. This one right here, on the other hand, this is it. This is hands down the best photo in the set. It's a black and white. The contrast is solid. The symmetry is solid. We have this one-way sign that's perfectly sandwiched in between the top and bottom of the building right here, pointing in the direction the person is walking. It's going to be funny when we're old and people are looking back on street photography from our era. You're going to see people like holding cell phones. That's going to be the main pose, which is unfortunate. This one right here, this is really good. This is great. Love this image right here. Super solid. It's just too bad we don't live, 20 years ago and you'd have some cool guy in a fedora or something like that walking through. Instead, you got a guy on the phone. But you probably waited around for this person to walk in the frame and you picked a very good one, be it that they're in all black. They really pop off against that white background and you frame them well. It's pretty much perfect. Like, this is very balanced. Last shot right here. This is kind of similar to the one in the subway. It's not bad. I can't really tell where the focus is. It almost looks like the car might have accidentally got hit in focus as opposed to the person walking through here. Maybe having the person blowing out smoke, maybe waiting like that extra split second to have something else more interesting going on here. This one's not necessarily, bad or anything. I just don't think it's saying as much, especially when you compare it to the previous black and white. But that black and white one, super solid photo. So next up, we got this black and white set of photos right here. Looks pretty promising. Good variety of images. This first one, we have someone crossing through a crosswalk right here. It's not bad. I would have liked to see the subject on this kind of pop out a little bit more. Maybe you wait for someone wearing white or something like that. And with all the lines going on in the scene, It's a little bit confusing visually as to where I'm trying to look because the subject blends in so much to the background, whereas if they were wearing all white or had a brighter color to them, all the white lines would kind of converge on the subject in the middle. So I think it could have been improved if somebody like was wearing something brighter. Actually, here we go. This is good. If you switched the person from the last photo into this photo and the person from this photo into the last photo, they would pair up even better. You see on this image, we have this awesome contrast. This is great. The lead lines here, everything about this is really cool. Minus the fact that the subject, kind of like on the last photo, is getting lost in the backdrop a little bit. They're wearing a white shirt, so they're blending into the white wall, where if they were wearing a black sweater and black pants, they would really pop out a little more. Now, I know you can't control who crosses in front of your scene, but maybe if you sat around and waited a little while longer, you would have had that happen. So yeah, if you replaced this person with the last person and this person with that person, both of these photos would have a lot more contrast and stand out a little more, but this one is really, really solid. Love how dark and contrasty that sky is. This one's really cool. This is awesome. This one pairs really well with the last one. These two work well nicely. I think the last one's a much more stronger image, but this is kind of like a detail playing off that. I think with this one, it would have worked out better if you didn't have this person right here on the left. They seem kind of distracting because their like outfit and attire and everything doesn't pair very well with this businessman in the all black suit. I think them by themselves with some isolation feel probably would have worked well here and paired nicely with this one where there's also one main subject, or if you had another person that kind of matched this person. So not bad here, but I'd probably wait and try to get rid of this person in the composition if I could. And then this last image is kind of cool. I guess it's a street portrait. I don't know how it ties in with the last two. I would say all in all, I don't know if you're trying to like make a set out of these, so I don't want to judge it like you are. But if this is just a random street portrait, I guess it's pretty cool. It looks focused. It looks well done. It's just, I don't know what it is. So maybe if you were to share something like this, you would try to have it be in a set that gave it a little bit more context. That would be my advice. We have London and Tokyo Trip by Andrea. Ooh. This is solid. Really like the colors right here. We have some blues, we have some oranges, we have some reds. It appears we have some person like laying on another person inside this train. A really cool scene. Feels like something out of a movie for sure. And then our next photo is a photo. What am I doing? Our next photo is this guy in a car looking all sad, which kind of pairs up like almost like a sister image to the last one. You have these two people together, and then you have this lonely looking guy. Really like these two paired up. The colors, everything matches, and they both feel kind of like scenes in a movie or something like that. This one though, however, these next two I think are from Tokyo is what the caption said. Not really sure, but so these two are cool. I see what you're trying to do with the composition. The problem is there's no direct subject, especially in this one. When you're looking at the scene, it's hard for me to visually pinpoint exactly what I'm supposed to be looking at or who the subject is. I know it's probably this guy right here with the suit, but for me, there could be a little bit more on this one just to, tell me, hey, this is what you're supposed to be looking at inside this composition. I see what you were going for. Maybe you needed to get a little bit closer. Same thing with this one. This one has a ton of promise because it's really cool, like a scene. The composition is on point. I know exactly what you're trying to do, but maybe waiting till the person with the umbrella got a little bit closer to you would really fill out your frame and help make the photo make a little bit more sense. This one is better than the last one, however, because it is pretty obvious who the subject is. Just would have been nice to have them a little bit closer. And who knows, you might have been able to crop this and punch in and get that effect without actually having to, go redo the photo. So this one's pretty cool. I really love those first two in this set. All right, next up we have Joa M. Carvalho. So let's see here. Looks like we got some pretty moody, dark, ominous blue images right here. This one's pretty cool. Got a little fog going on. One thing I would do if I was in this position is I would take a small stutter step this way and try to get the subject, this mysterious figure, inside of the white glowing box just to, have them highlighted. That's one thing I'll do different. This next one, if I did one thing different, I'd have someone sitting inside of this right here. Definitely not bad, but you kind of have this like gaping frame right here that's saying, hey, put something in here for me to look at, and there's nothing in there. But not bad. I mean, it pairs up stylistically with this last one. And then this also pairs up stylistically with this one. This one I don't think needs anything else. Obviously, you could always add more, layers of interest to a photo. You can always do more inside the frame, but this one's not bad. It definitely matches the vibe on the last two. I just think if you filled up this frame on this one, you would really, really have something here. But not bad, not bad. See, this is what's tricky to me. So I don't know if you're intending for this to be part of this set. Is this a set of 3 photos and then just one extra photo you sent me? Or is this the 4th photo in the set? Because if it's the 4th photo in the set, it immediately is like a curveball. I don't know why this looks nothing like the last few images. This one's really solid though. You got some depth of field going on. What I would try to do differently is hide this person right here with the bald head. I would try to like stutter step a little this way, hide them behind our subject right here. But you do have some solid lead lines going on. Might have been nice for the lead lines up top to lead you more towards what you're trying to look at, because obviously your subject's right here, but then your lead line is pointing you over here to this dead space. So that's a little confusing visually. I might have tried to rework that composition a little bit more to take advantage of the lead lines, but definitely nice depth of field here. Not bad at all, but I do really like how well all these first 3 at least flow together. Like the style is right on point. The ambiance and feel of the photo is right on point, and they feel like very continuous. Again, I'm using that word again. Is that a real word or not? All right. Ooh, here we go. Frederick. So I guess this guy's another photography YouTuber. I'm going to look him up. Didn't know. I'm bad about keeping up with everybody on YouTube. Here we go. He says, don't go easy. So we got somebody in a train looking miserable. So this street photo style is like the core opposite of the way I do things. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not saying I do everything right. But it's completely the opposite of my style. So it's pretty interesting seeing these. This one looks pretty cool. Definitely looks miserable or looks, sad. So next up, once again, kind of keeping that same thing. This photo is really, really dope. This is a powerful photo right here. I like this a lot. You have perfect framing. You have the red going against the blue. And then you have these 2 people raising their arms up, and then the person in the middle. And I'm not really sure like what this says to me off the top of my head, but there's something here. Like it's saying something. This one is really nice, and it pairs up nicely with the last one, be it a transit photo. This one right here pairs up with that first one. Everybody, what's up with this train? Why is everybody looking so miserable on this train? I wish I knew where these were made. Like, look at my man in this photo right here. This one looks cool too. Once again, I should have asked people to send me like a caption or like a small artist note so I knew what I was looking at. Off the strength of itself though, these 3 all do work together. They're clearly transit photos telling some type of story. This one, however, is a little bit of a wild card to me because I don't know what it has to do with the last 3. We have sad person trapped in a train. Somebody else trapped in a train right here, perfectly done. Someone else trapped in a train. And then just like a portrait that's pretty clean. So I would say this is the one that isn't making a whole lot of sense to me. Portrait-wise, like technique-wise, it looks like it's done pretty much perfect. The eyeball is sharp. Everything's on point. But maybe I would have liked to see some more framing or composition happening here. Even something as simple as maybe taking a step back and framing this person between people's arms or between a pole in the subway and someone or something like that. Every other photo utilizes some type of framing except this one. And I would say that's the one that, as a whole, like part of the set doesn't make as much sense. But once again, I don't know if that's what everyone was going for here. I should have been more clear with my instructions. But out of the 4, this is the one that I think could have used a little bit more. Next up, we have Aaron Ross, Guatemala. See, this is what I'm talking about. So Guatemala, November 2019, Chicago, January 2020. So this Guatemala one is kind of cool. We have this split wall. Got this guy walking through here. Maybe would have liked a different angle on this one. It's not saying as much to me, and the white balance is a little cool on it, but not terrible. I would have liked to see this probably in a set of photos to make it make a little bit more sense. This one though, I think, what did you say? This was like a year later, right? So this was a few months later. This looks really solid. Awesome composition here. You found a really cool location, waited for someone to cross in the frame, had them at the perfect spot right here. This one is solid. Really, really like this one. Technically, pretty much perfect. I mean, you got all types of lines in here. Everything is flowing nicely. This is spot on. Really nice. Next up, we have Eric Ramirez. Let's see here. Pretty cool looking. Cool looking. The color grade on these is all really cool. Huh. Yeah, color grade's really cool on these. Okay. So this public market, I see what we were going for here, and I like it. You have these like lead lines right here pointing you towards this person. You made a mistake, I think, though, that I make all the time, which is you get too low. So you're too low right here. If you came up just a little bit more of like kind of an eye level, you're going to have this person framed inside the window, creating more of a silhouette. It's going to be a little bit easier to read, and actually you're going to be closer to these bars pointing you towards that subject. But this one's not bad at all. I just think if you were a little bit higher up, it would have framed up composition-wise a little bit nicer, but not bad. This one right here, not bad either. This is kind of the opposite. You could actually come like down a little bit or flip this one to make it a landscape orientation as opposed to a portrait orientation, because I don't think you need all this negative space up here, especially the light pole in here. You could probably cut the image right here, right above this last building, and everything would be fine. But all in all, this one's kind of cool too. It matches up with the other one color-wise, so I can see what you were going for with this set. This is really cool too. Where is this? I'm not sure what city this is, but this is dope. The composition is really cool on here. Stupid light pole right here, that drives me nuts, but there's nothing you could really do about that. One thing here, this person you have walking through the frame, maybe having them back a little bit right here would work. You do have a lot of negative space in the lower left of the image, so I'd try to do something to get rid of that negative space if I could, but this one's pretty cool as well. I see what you were doing because the pole is kind of a lead line here. You might even be able to get away with cropping this square to remove some of that negative space on the lower left, and then that would solve that issue a little bit. And then this one is pretty cool too. We got someone crossing the street here. It looks like there's a bus or a train or some type of streetcar here. Might have been cool if you could have had the streetcar a little bit further up, but this one's pretty solid, pretty interesting looking street photo. Very futuristic feeling with the color grade. I like it. I like the way these all pair together. They're all from different things, but they all feel like they're made by the same person, which I do really like. So next up, we got Pat McCormick right here, 2 from Winston-Salem and 1 from the A. Let's see what we got going on. First one is of this street. We got a car right here. Composition on this looks really solid. Some potential framing on the left side of our frame with that garage door. Next one, we have this like water tower. Really like the colors and the tones on this. Looks solid. Now I like the minimal composition going on here as well. And then we have this bus coming through this frame right here. So this last photo and the first photo, composition-wise, we're on point. And also scene-wise, they pair up well together. What's going on here, though, is there's a missing element to each one. I think each photo would benefit from one other thing happening inside of the scene. So if we're looking at this bus photo, maybe someone in the street, maybe someone on a bike, maybe someone sitting here, maybe anything going on to create another layer of this whole thing, I think would benefit this image a lot. Same with this right here. I think this composition is solid. I think the scene is solid. The color is solid. Exposure is solid. There just needs to be 1 or 2 more elements happening inside of the scene to really make everything work and tie in well together. But these are spot on composition. They look good exposure wise, color, everything looks good. If you were to improve something on the first one and the third one, it'd be to have a little bit more going on, I think. So we got Daniel from New York. Let's see here. 14th Street, solid. We got some real contrasty, moody looking stuff going on. That's pretty cool too. A lot of contrast right there. A lot of contrast right here. So these are solid. Like if this was a New York subway scene of photos or whatever, it does exactly what it's supposed to do. I feel like you got a variety of images here. You're showing the chaos, the feel of a train. You got somebody waiting, then you got people getting on and off, then you got the chaos of the tunnel. And then our last photo though. This is cool. Now, once again, I don't know if everyone is sending me these as part of a scene or not, but if this is as part of a set or not, but if this is supposed to be in a set with those last 3 images, this image doesn't make as much sense here. And also, there's something going on with the edit here. I don't know what it is. I think probably what happened is the highlights are a little bright and they tried to bring them down a little bit. This one's not bad. I just don't know how it works with the other 3 images. I think these 3 by themselves create a really nice set that has like a New York subway feel. And then if you add this one in here as a 4th, it's kind of like a wild card. So we got Miguel right here. So number 1, 2, and 4 are in Italy. Number 3 is from Belgium. So let's see. We got someone crossing the street here. We got this crazy cinematic golden hour looking light like this. We have someone with an umbrella right here. We have 2 people like kissing each other. And then we have this photo of this guy walking through our frame. This one's cool. This is like a movie. This feels like, shout out Monaris. I don't know if y'all know her on Instagram, Paula. She is awesome. This kind of reminds me of something she might make. What I would do on this one is maybe adjust the crop a little bit, get rid of this sign up in the top left, but I do know why you kept it in there because you wanted that motel neon to glow a little more. So I get it, kind of a tough call as far as the composition goes, but this one's solid. Looks like you got this right. Don't really know. Once again, I don't know if you were sending me these as a set or not. Like if these are all individual photos. This one, what I might do with the composition here, so it's a little bit confusing visually because your eye is getting drawn into this, lead line valley thing that's going on the left side right here where all the buildings are creating like a channel. So maybe what I would have done here is take a little step left or step back a little bit, try to adjust the framing a little bit because you have essentially a building in the middle and then behind that building is an umbrella right here. So visually, it's kind of a lot going on. I might have adjusted the composition here a little bit, but these 2 sun images together, if you're saying like golden hour in Italy is your tagline on this, if you were printing them or you're posting them online, it makes perfect sense. This one is really, really good. This is like something straight out of a movie right here. Love this shot. And it pairs up nicely with this one as well. So we got alley. These aren't exactly street photos, but they're cool. So we got 4 shadow images right here. Now, I like the way all these work together. They utilize right angles. They take advantage of lighting. It's different. It's unique. So these are cool. I can't really judge them like I would judge a street photo or anything like that. But all in all, a cool little set of images right here that obviously some thought went into creating and went into looking for. How much time we got on here? All right, I'm going to do like 2 or 3 more of these. So Thom Bradley right here. So this first image is of someone like in a meat locker thing. That's what the jacket says. Got a lot of layers going on. Got a lot of different things happening. A lot of colors because this is made through a window. Pretty cool shot for sure. We have someone inside of like a marketplace, some cool framing right here. Really like this one as well. The framing on this is really, really cool because you have that reflection on the roof and then you have this little bit on the left and on the bottom kind of drawing your eye in. Composition's really, really solid on that one. That's my favorite so far of these. This is really cool too. The composition on this is sick. This was a nice find. I just wish something was happening inside of the composition because you have all these things in this photo just pointing you right at the middle, like stare at this. This is what you want to look at. And then there's nothing happening there. So I realize like sometimes you don't have the time, but in a perfect world, this would be a great spot to just stand at forever and wait for something to happen inside that scene because the colors and everything here is so spot on. This is really, really cool. Like that one a lot. And I see what you're doing here, kind of making a pair image to this one. What I might have done differently, if you were looking to try to pair something with this type of photo, I might have just done like a detail shot inside this market as opposed to this one, because we already have like the full market scene right here. This one is spot on and awesome. Love this photo. So with this one, maybe just getting a detail or something like that probably would have sufficed to fill out your set. But once again, don't know exactly what you're going for here. I do like all the lead lines here with these jars and then going into the shelves. Definitely not a bad photo. Hands down, the strongest one though is this right here. Let's see. We got a set of black and white images right here. We got a solid crosswalk with some shadows. We got this person creating a shadow as well. Solid little image. This one right here, once again, a creative. This is really cool, actually. I like the way the chairs are casting this kind of like three-dimensional shadow on the ground. This one pairs so well with this because it has lines going this way. This one has lines going this way. These look great together. This one has the lines, has the light, and not as strong because there's no big subject or something happening inside of it, but it does work in the set. And then this last one takes advantage of the light again. One thing I would have done with this, I might have actually silhouetted the person in this in post. How boring they look kind of takes away from the photo. So I think if you went in post and maybe exposured that out and tried to darken it up even a little bit, it'd create more of a silhouette and add to kind of like the mysteriousness of the rest of the set. But all in all, not a bad set of images right here. They all pair up nicely. They all have good contrast. They all have lines that they all kind of share with one another. These flow really, really well, and this is a solid set for sure. We got Skylar right here. Huge fan since day one. Shout out to you. So we got this pretty cool looking scene right here. Someone walking through it with some snow. Pretty cool color here. Might have gotten a little bit closer on this just to make it a little more easier to read. You got a lot of negative space at the top of the photo. But this one's pretty cool. Next one, we got someone walking through this scene right here. Once again, might have got a little bit closer on this one to kind of keep that minimal feel that I know you're going for, but just remove some of the extras that don't need to be in there, like these cars on the left and right and this light pole. You could definitely get rid of the cars because they're just creating a visual distraction that takes away from what you're trying to look at right here, which is this person walking through the scene. Have this cool Shell Station photo right here. Really like the tones on this. This one's pretty solid, and this one pairs up really well with that first one. So I see what you were doing here. And then this last one pairs up, I guess, with the first one as well. It looks like this might be the same scene here. This one I probably would have gotten a little bit closer if you could have, just to take some of that negative space out of the bottom of the frame and really highlight this subject right here. But not bad on this one. I think these three work the best together, and then this one maybe a little more could have been done composition wise to make it a little bit more interesting. Maybe even just getting a little bit lower would have benefited the image slightly, but not bad. A pretty solid set right here. Like the colors, like the tones a lot. Okay, cool. We got these motorcycle shots right here. This is from Winston. That's pretty sick right there. What is that? Motorcycle in the rain. Like the framing, like the movement. That is a solid photo for sure. This is another pretty solid one right here. A little bit far away compared to the first one. I might have cropped in a little bit on this, or maybe not done like a square style crop like this. I would have done maybe like a 16:9 or something, but this is really, really solid. This is dope. This next one, we have someone waiting on a bike with a palm tree. This is really solid too. I think on this one, since you have two bike photos that are so far away, this one I might have tried to get a little bit closer and maybe capture some more details on the bike or on the person, because it looks like they're wearing something pretty cool. Maybe try to get closer and frame up more of the palm tree and remove this ATM over here on the left. There was a lot of potential here with this composition, and I think a little bit more could have been done here to create something interesting. Same with this one, honestly. The scene is cool, but I think the details is what makes this really, really interesting. And this composition down here on the left, this sidewalk ending, it's a little bit confusing, so I might have cropped that out just because it doesn't really add anything to the photo. Might have tried to crop that or switch up the composition just to get this crosswalk, the bike, and the sky. But These are really solid bike images for sure. Once again, I don't know if you're sending me these as individuals or as a set. If it's a set of photos though, I think maybe 2 detail shots would have benefited this set very well. This is really dope. Like, there's so much potential here with the palm tree and with this bike. A lot could have been done here, but these are really good. I love the motion on this second one a lot. This is fire. And one more, last shot. This is from James, City of Melbourne. Fire right here. This is a good one to end on. Love the combination here of cityscape plus street photo. We have the shadow of a person walking in, just that little subtle detail, something on there to make this much more interesting than just like a standard cityscape. You framed it up nice with the frame on the left and on the right. You have the blue and the oranges here. I like this one. I like this a lot. Looks good. You know, it would just be a normal cityscape if you didn't include that little bit of something down there in the bottom right. So I like that added layer of interest here. This was a long video for sure. What is our runtime here? Like longer. So if you want me to do a part 2, let me know in the comments. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Thank you everyone for submitting your photos. More than likely there will be a part 2 because we're still doing this whole social distancing, quarantine, isolation deal. Didn't want to go hard on anybody. By no means am I like the end all be all. I'm just sharing my thoughts, what I might do differently on some of these photos. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't take it personally. Keep working, keep striving out there. Everyone in this video today did a really good job. The photos look awesome. Thank you guys for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. See you next time.